Yo, what's going on, everyone? Mike Hill, the Wholesaling Titan here. And in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about absolutely free leads. So specifically, we're going to be talking about this new software called Propwire. This is brought to us by an absolute OG in the game, Mr. Jerry Norton himself. And today I'm going to give you my initial thoughts, pros, cons, good, bad, ugly. Should you use it, compare it, and contrast it to maybe some existing systems? Should it replace your existing software? And hopefully we'll kind of figure some of this out together. So when you come to the website, propwire.com, you can actually start your search without even signing up for an account, but I recommend you do so you can save your searches. No credit card or anything like that required. Just pop in your email, make a password, and here are some of the highlights of the system. So when a lot of students come to me for help, or they come in looking for coaching, but they're on a limited budget, looking for free and or low-cost leads, some of our typical go-tos are going to be to go to the MLS, oftentimes by way of sites like Zillow, or using some of the government lists. So that's going to include things like probate, foreclosures, divorce, and evictions. But here you can get all that stuff in one place, and you've got tracking with that, so that's pretty cool. They also have filters for off-market sellers. It's also got some additional criteria to help you with the analysis. So they'll tell you equity, for example, some of the estimated values, and one thing that's really cool is going to be the lead alerts. So if we go inside of the system here, you'll see these are all the different lead types. So you got absentee owners, auctions, REOs, empty nesters, MLS, free and clear, pre-foreclosure, probates, vacant homes. So I think it's 17 different layers here. But one thing that's really cool is that you can actually stack these things, right? So I can look at pre-foreclosures that are vacant, for example. You can stack these. And you guys know that that's, when you have more levels of motivation, more criteria, you're more likely to get a more motivated buyer. All right, so we've got that, which is absolutely a great thing, right? That's awesome here. We got our types of houses. So let's just do a quick search, single family homes, owner types. And before we run a sample search, I want to show you guys the advanced tab, because this is what I think is really cool. So obviously, you've got advanced property filters, owner details, the financials, all right, estimated values, things like that. But one thing that's really cool is the MLS keywords. So this is something I've previously taught students to use using Zillow. But what you can do is you can search for keywords that would appear in a listing that are indicative of signs of distress. So some examples might be damaged, fire damage, cash only, handyman special, mold, Chinese drywall, vacant. Any keywords that would be indicative of some level of a distressed property. And the really cool thing is that if you save these searches, anytime a property comes onto market that has that keyword, you'll get an email. Because remember, this is a game of speed. So that's really cool. I recommend that you have a separate email address for these types of alerts. You don't want this mixed in with your personal email or your Groupons or all that stuff. So keep it separate. And now let's jump in and look at a sample search. So let's go ahead and search for, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia. All right, and let's start off by looking at the MLS. And again, for the sake of the video, I didn't go into all the details of the different filters. You guys know those are there. Feel free to play around with that. You see we're coming back with some your results here. You've got your potential equity over here on the side. And the interface is really, really clean. So I like that. You can save properties. And then all this information is there. So the next question that I probably get about this is, well, how does this compare to some of the other softwares out there? Things like Propstream, things like Privy, Reifax. You guys know my primary systems I use would be Privy and Reifax. And should this replace your existing systems? And so I would say, well, it kind of depends, right? If you're in a situation where you have no budget or very low budget, it's going to be a great option for you. It's a lot more convenient. And, again, the information is all in one place. But there are some unknowns. Now, again, I'm no expert, disclaimer, right? I'm no expert in this. Actually, I'm just playing around in the system just to get this video out in a timely manner. So make sure you guys experiment and play with this. But one thing is that we don't know, at least at this time, or I don't know, how frequently this data is updated, particularly for some of the off-market stuff. And that is a criticism I've heard of other systems. Now, in my system, there's certain data points I could give you. So Realeflow, for example, I know that their foreclosure data is updated daily. Their probate data is updated on a weekly basis. A lot of those things are actually mined manually. So that's something really cool that makes me a little confident in my system. So that's just a question that may get answered in time, something to maybe keep in the back of your mind. But again, look looking at this, I like the interface, very clean. This particular property doesn't have a photo, but a lot of them do have photos. Let's see, it says 1 of 43, so maybe if we go over, it'll pop up. But yeah, and then you've got your MLS listing data. You've got things here, your mortgage equity. And so it does give you a lot of data to work with. And again, you can not only save this, but you can actually download these properties. Now, one thing where I would pull back a little bit is going to be this get connected button down here. And again, I'm just going off some assumptions, but when we click here, this is going to connect you with a local agent. Now, I'm assuming, these things cost money. It's free. So maybe, and I could be wrong, but on the back end, there may be agents who are paying to get these leads. And what happens is when you put your contact information here, you're most likely going to be connected with a buyer's agent. Now, remember, as wholesalers, we typically do not want to go through a buyer's agent. You want to be working with the listing agent directly. And as far as I've seen in the sample searches that I've done, that information is not on here. And the reason you want to do that, if you guys are not familiar, is essentially if we look at a deal, it's typical where there's a listing agent. That's someone who puts the property onto the MLS and they advertise it. And then you have a buyer's agent. It's a person who maybe will drive, an investor around, show them the property. And then those two parties come together. And then let's say it's a 6% commission. They split it 3%, 3%. So when you go directly to a listing agent, you are appealing to their self-interest. And so if I went to a property and I offered $100,000 on a property, that agent would get the full commission, 6%. They get $6,000. Now, if you went through a buyer's agent and offered them $120,000, $20K higher, that total commission is like $7,200. So they would walk away with half of that, $3,600. So you're essentially cutting their paycheck in half. Now, agents do have a responsibility, fiduciary responsibility to their clients to present all offers, but if you live in the real world, that doesn't always happen. Sometimes they might not even present the other offer. And even though agents are not the decision makers, they do have significant influence over their clients, over their sellers, right? So they might go to the seller and say, listen, we got this guy, Mike. His offers $100,000. He's paying cash. He's a solid dude. I think you should go with this. We might lose the offer. Whereas for yours, they might say, okay, well, this is $120,000. It looks okay, but I don't know how I feel about this person. Or, let me scrutinize their proof of funds letter. Well, their proof of funds letter using hard money is not quite the same. They might give you a harder time. So your conversion rate in terms of getting properties accepted is going to be significantly higher when you go directly with a listing agent. Now, let's say you guys are using a software such as Privy or Reifax, like I use, right? Is it justifiable? And I would say, unless you're on a very, very strict budget, you should stay with what is working. It's not that you necessarily need these things, but some of the additional features, additional search functionality, additional filters, they can really help you to either do analysis faster or they've just got some cool features, man. Like, so Privy, for example, has some algorithms built in, right? Where I can go to Privy and I can say, show me all the cash buyers in 33401 zip code. And it will show me all the cash transactions that have occurred there. And on average, I can see the percentages that the cash buyers purchase relative to the ARV. And then with the click of one button, I can say, show me everything that's on the market right now that meets those same standards approximately, right? Within a range, and you can adjust all that stuff. So things like that are really, really helpful. Now, the other thing is that here, again, we don't get the listing agent direct information within the system. Now, you could just do a quick Google search. Again, it's going to take you a little bit longer to get that information, but sometimes it depends. Remember, the MLS is not one system, right? So they're different MLSs. They have different information. So just in doing some sample searches, I found these two properties I want to show you guys. And so that's Propwire. Now, if you go to Zillow, for example, we look at this property here, you'll see that Zillow will provide who the listing is by. So that's a good thing, but there's no contact information. There's no details, no email addresses or phone numbers. Now, inside of Realeflow, this information is pulled automatically, and I can actually use the automations there to say, send this person, I want to make an offer of, $190,000. Send them this offer, and it will automatically, because I use templates, things like that, I just tell them how much to offer. It will automatically write up an email saying, hey, Joe, my name is Mike. I want to make the offer at this much. Attached, please find my proof of funds, my contract, signed, executed, everything. And the contract using variables will actually be fully filled out, executed, and sent over to that person without any of the extra steps in between. If we look over at Privy, for example, you'll see there's also a lot more data, right? So you can see all the, obviously everything that's coming through the MLS, but you'll also see here we have the listing agent direct phone number. You've got the listing agent's office number. You've got the, showing contact information. So you just get a little bit more information. So again, I think this is a great, fantastic tool, especially if you're on a limited budget. But if you're already using another system, another software, at least consider what you might be kind of missing out on. And sometimes it's absolutely worth it to pay for something to save some time. And so you can see that example here as well. And again, MLS is a little bit different. So in some of these, I guess what you would call like the data feeds, sometimes Zillow will give you, actually here, it does give you the phone number. So it's hit or miss. And to a degree, you might have to just do some research and play with this stuff depending on where you are. So you'll see here, we do have that information. Privy, for example, is the same property, right? Yeah. We get a lot more information here. Now, the other thing is that we don't, or at least I don't know right now, what MLS data feeds are on the back end of this system. And so I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying for me, it's an unknown. Because if I come in here and I look at, let's say, this property, it's active, it's on market. We see it in Privy, we see it in Zillow. Now, if I come over here into Propwire and search it, oops. It actually does not come back with a result. Same here. I did that with this example as well. Bam. And did not come back with a result. So it didn't come back with a result. So this is a brand new system. It's growing. So in time, maybe they'll get connected to more data feeds. If you're in a more popular, more in-demand area, your stuff will probably be in there, but just something to take into consideration. Again, have fun playing with this, guys. I'll probably play with it a little bit. I'm sure I'll have new students who will come in and that'll be kind of their go-to. But this is absolutely amazing if you're especially on a budget and looking for free leads. Again, the fact that you can even save things and have automated searches come to you, really, really cool. I don't know how they really did this, but very good option. So play with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll play with this, see if I can answer those for you a little bit better. The other thing that I'll kind of stress to you is that, remember, this is for your data. And for me, it's highly, highly recommended that you also have a CRM. The two are not the same. Now, many CRMs do include data, such as Reifax, but that's going to be really, really important when you get to things like your follow-up, right? So if you're brand new and you have, 20 properties you're making offers on, it's not going to be that cumbersome for you to keep track of them to follow up. Now, when you start having hundreds of properties and you need reminders and you need automated text to go out and you need automated emails, or you want to do bulk offers using, again, the template model that I described earlier, then some of these other systems might work very, very well for you. Or I recommend that as soon as you can afford it, one of the first things you should get is a CRM. Again, when you have 500 plus properties and you're trying to figure out, who do I need to call today? What's going on? That idea of organization and following up really, really does help you. So those are my initial thoughts. Again, this is in interest of getting this out in a reasonable amount of time, kind of getting this video out there. But if I forgot to say something or I have more stuff coming up with, I can do a follow-up video here, or maybe some of the questions that I had may be answered in the near future. Also, if you guys would like to see what I'm talking about how my daily offer routine works, or how some of these things are automated, some of the differences, you can check out some of my videos on Realeflow or Privy. I'll post those videos somewhere around here or maybe in one of the cards. I'll also put in the description the link for Propwire. It's just propwire.com, Privy, Realeflow. You guys can check that out. Also, remember, I do one-on-one calls. They're free every single week. It's consultation. We look at where you're struggling, provide you with some solutions, game plan. If you're interested in doing mentoring, that's the only way to get into the program, just to make sure it's a good fit for me, good fit for you. Other than that, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Helps out the channel a great deal. I got more great videos coming for you guys soon. Thanks again for your support of the channel, and be in touch. All right, talk to you guys soon. Peace.